Hello, and thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be unboxing the Castles of Burgundy by Stefan Feld. This is the special edition that came out a couple of years ago, and this includes 10 expansions and is for 1 to 4 players. So ages 12 plus, 70 to 120 minutes to play. So now I play this game a lot. It is a classic in the board game industry. I only started playing a few years ago. I mostly play either the digital app version or online on BGA. I have this version, so I'm excited to actually play with the physical copy. And this is by Alea, who made this edition. All right, and let's just get right into it. So this game, as I said, it is a classic. People love to play this game. And I'm never without people to play with online, with the online version of this. Now there is some discussion about what is a good player count for this one. In the digital app, I always play just like 2, sometimes 3 player. I just play against the AI. Online, I will normally just play this with 4 players. That seems to be a really good player count for this. So I am interested in trying a solo version of it. I actually don't know any information about the solo version or how it works, so this is going to be fun to learn. Alright, so we have a rulebook in German and a rulebook in French and English. So we'll put those off to the side. Extra baggies, those are always nice to have. Once you punch everything out, we got some dice and little tokens for the players. This is the main board, so we'll take that out, and let's get some of these punch boards out. Psychedelic. It's the little Alea over and over again. A little crazy looking. Put it over here. So I believe that they updated the art with this version. I'm not sure what other changes were made to it. As I mentioned, this one does include 10 expansions. I don't know what those expansions are. I've actually never played any of the expansions. I always just play the base game when I play this one, so it'll be interesting to see. And these are player boards. Looks like. So I'm assuming they might be for different expansions, maybe. This looks more like the regular board. This one, so I'm not quite sure if they join with something else, maybe. They appear to be cut off. So looks like these are just different castle or different board layouts. This one looks familiar. I play this board a few times. I'm actually in a game right now where I'm playing this particular board. So each of the boards, they do have a slightly different layout, and so you can choose between the two. This is board 8, which a lot of people think is overpowered, so a lot of people don't actually play with board 8. Yeah. And some more boards. So here's another one. Do these match? Those match. Okay, so it looks like it's just one really big board. So that's cool. And then just more of the board style. So the layout is just slightly different. You'll have the castles in different spots. You have the mines in different areas. These were probably all in a specific order. So you can see here, this is where you're going to place your tiles that you get. This is where you can put the tiles. So you can take a tile from the main board and then put them on here. These are kind of like your warehouse for tiles. You can only ever have 3 at one time. So if you do want a different one, you can always take another one, but then you have to get rid of one of the ones in the warehouse. You can't just take it and then immediately place it. You have to basically goes into the warehouse and then goes in onto the board. So this is a spot where you can put extra workers, collect a worker, and they can change the dice face by either +1 or -1. And then here's just coins. There is what's called like the black market on the board, the main board, which I'll show you in a minute. And so if you have at least 2 coins, you can actually buy a tile from that little black market area. And then this is goods that you can get when you place a ship. So you can get goods and then you can sell the goods. This is where you can earn coins, also points when you sell. Okay, that's all the boards, player boards. All right, punch boards. So these I do not recognize. I'm assuming these must be part of an expansion. And then here's your little mine tiles, your castle tiles, coins. We have animals. So there's 4 different types of animals in the game. There's sheep, cows, pig, and goats. And so you can see there's different amounts in there. So if you were to place this on your player board, you would get like 4 goats or 4 points. And then let's say you added a 3 in the same field next to goats, then you would score the 3, but you'd also score the 4 again as well. So it's a good way to get some points. And then here's the little worker tiles. So again, you can either change the die face by +1 or -1. Here's some of the end game. And then also there are ones in here. So these are end game scoring points. And then these can help you during the game. So this one, if you use a worker action, so normally it'd be + or -1, but if you have this in your duchy, then you would actually be able to change the die by + or -2. And then these are just some of the goods that you'd be selling. There's the 4 and the 5. Don't recognize these, so these must be from one of the expansions. Here's ship tiles. And then more goods tiles that you're selling. More animals. Oh, this one has ducks. So this might be from an expansion. Maybe it adds, I think those are ducks, to the game. Okay, more buildings. So again, these buildings will also do something different when you place them into your duchy. So if you place a building, this one, it just automatically gets you 4 victory points. This one, I believe if you place it, you will get 4 workers. This one is the market. So if you place this one, you can either, from the main player, from the main game board, you can take either a ship tile or an animal tile. And some of those. And just the last board. Very satisfying, just punching out markers. Those are punching out really nicely. Okay. And then you can see on the back of the board, or on the tiles, that they are the same. Okay. Now I have dust everywhere. Little cardboard bits. Okay. Open this real quick, super quick. So these are just player tokens. and cute little dice. These dice are actually slightly smaller than a normal size dice. So each person gets 2 dice, and so what you do is you roll the dice, and then those are the 2 numbers that you can work with that round. And then this is, I believe, for the goods. So each turn or round of a game, a good is placed onto one of the main game board spots, which, let's get that out now and I can show you. So it is a double-sided, so I'm assuming it depends on number of players. So this might be a lower player count because there's less options on tiles. And this is probably the higher player. Goes this way. Such a good game. Okay, let's move that over there. All right, so there's the main game board. Not laying flat at the moment. But. All right, so each round consists of 5 turns. And then, so what you would do, let me just get some of these just to show you. Let's get one of those, one of those, and what else? It's just one of these. All right. So let's just pretend we have some goods up here. So we'll start, we'll say we're in the middle of the game. So we'll put one, let's say here, or roll one. So these will tell you what type of building is allowed there. So like this will be where the castle is. We have a couple of sheep, you know, areas, castle. And it can depend on how many people are in the game, what round you're on, all of that good stuff. So let's put there. Okay, good enough for now. So what we do, so we roll the little white die. So 2, and so we take the next tile that was there, goods tile, and we'll put it there. And then if you were going to roll, so 5 and 6. So if we look at one of our boards, so I could, if I have a building, then I would place it on the 5 or 6, on any of these that I would have. So what I would do is I look and I say, okay, well currently with this board state, I could either get this building with the 5 dice or this building with the 6 dice. Now when you start, you obviously have a castle already placed, and then what you'd have to do is you'd actually have to go from that castle, you'd be able to build in a tile that's next to it. So let's just say I have a couple of these down already. So what I could do is I could say, okay, well, I'll take this 5 and I'll use this dice. I'll put that in my warehouse. And then with this 6, let's go ahead and say I can take this other dice right here, or this other tile, and I put that in my warehouse. Now, if I had a spot over here, so let's say my board looked like this. If I wanted to, instead of taking the 6, so I just used the 5 and I took that tile, I could use my 6 dice, put that over there, and then I could just whatever that building, when I place it, whatever the bonus is, I would get the bonus at that time. So it seems so simple, yet it's such a good game. Very puzzly. So nice board. These player ones, I mean, you're not really doing anything with them. They are just made out of like a paper type material, like a cardboard, like a small, you know, thick cardstock. It seems weird, most player boards are made out of some kind of like a heavier cardboard type, kind of like that material. But for this game, I don't, you know, it's not really necessary to have that, so. And rule books. Okay, well, let's go over this super quick. So, Castles of Burgundy, the classic strategy game about planning, trading, and building. Introduction. Players take on the roles of dukes in the 15th century Burgundy. Over the course of 5 phases, players score victory points through trading, farming, building, or scientific research. And the player with the most victory points at the end of the game is the winner, of course. Kind of just tells you game components, what you have. Now, something that they do in a lot of rule books nowadays, which I don't see it in here, is they actually have like images of what these different things look like. Now they do tell you the buildings, there's beige, so obviously that's a beige color versus the castle, which is dark green, but I still think it would have been nice just to see actual picture of components, but it gets the point across. Talks to you about game setup. It's a lot of arrows, but I like it where they, you know, will point to where exactly they're talking about. So it tells you how to get started, about your duchy or the player board, what each of the spaces means, and then how to play the game. So the game consists of 5 phases, lettered A to E, and each phase consists of 5 rounds. So I like it. They have pictures, they have some items off into the margins, which kind of give you more information. Monastery tiles. So those are the yellow ones that are either end of game scoring or items that give you advantages during the game itself. So it goes over the end of game, how you score. And then this one, it actually does go for each individual monastery tile. It tells you what the tile actually means, which is nice. The icons are pretty straightforward once you know the game, you've played it at least once. They're pretty straightforward, easy to understand, but I do always like it. If it's been a while, they will tell you what each of the tiles means. So that's cool. And then information for the 2 and 3 player games. So flip the game board and expansions. So what the different expansions are and how they work. So geese, they are new. Team games, so those are the big boards that I put together. And solo game, which is what I'm interested in. So I will be reading up on this, and actually we'll be playing a game probably soon. And that is the game. So got a few components in here. Like I said, I really love this game. I only started playing it a few years ago. It is just one of those games that it's easy to play, but there is a lot of strategy on, you know, do you take certain dice or do you take the workers instead? Do you sell goods? Turn order is determined by every time you place a ship tile, you move up in turn order, so that's really important to do. So there's a lot of decision that needs to be made in these games. It's very strategic, and it is quite a fun game to play. There we go. Need the box. I always put the box on. I hope you have enjoyed this unboxing. I really am looking forward to playing this. If you like the video, please hit the little like button. Leave me a comment. Let me know, have you played the solo mode? And if you want to be notified anytime I upload a new video, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.
record any of it?